Hey everyone, Margarita here. I'm going to talk more in this video today about Tony Bologna and give some supporting information regarding um, some of his manipulative behavior. So, this video is basically going to contain some of the ways in which he was very manipulative, as most attorneys are. But he was also emotionally manipulative, financially manipulative, and sexually manipulative. So I'm going to take this a little step further and go further into detail, just because I want to warn the women of the Downriver, Michigan area who intend on dating him or go out with them or have intentions of a long-term relationship or a short-term relationship. I'm just going to give some supporting information that it's basically going to warn you to steer clear of this guy altogether. So being emotionally manipulative, he basically wants you to feel sorry for him and just feels like you should be babying him. And he's using all of these manipulative tactics to get whatever he wants in whatever department he's looking to gain in. Now, being financially manipulative, he was paid to help go after me so that way him and the criminal group my mother is affiliated with gain access to the rest of my missing stolen trust fund. And he felt the need to target me so he could have this money instead of me, or at least a portion of it, and they were intending on splitting it between them. Now, since he's an attorney and all, and he portrayed himself to be so much better than me and thought he was so much better than me, that doesn't really add up, because if you're so high up on the chain, then why would you need to target somebody who's supposedly so much lower than you for a trust fund that belongs to them, should have been given to them 20 years ago? Why would you think that belongs in your pocket, number one? Okay. And, um, you know, he doesn't intend on ever really spending any real money in any which direction. Again, I worked in the adult entertainment industry for a very long time. And when I was suspicious that he was involved in all of this, that's when I brought him to my work. And he came in there and just felt so entitled that he didn't realize he was handing me all types of evidence of what he was doing every step of the way. And he spent a very minimal amount of money in this place when he was in there. I'd say maybe 50 to 60 bucks tops, and did not spend any money, as most patrons that come in those establishments do. And usually you would have to spend hundreds, if not 1,000 or more, for a girl to even consider leaving the establishment with you and talking to you outside of the establishment. And which he did not do at all. And he got so excited and thought he had the cat in the bag and thought he was about to carry this out, and thought I was just so naive and he was going to be able to get this job done real quick, and he was just going to make this chunk of money for helping participate in all of this and have me taken out, and they were just going to gain access to the rest of this trust fund real quick. But what it was is I recognized what he was doing right away, so I continued to talk to him. And here he thought that, that I really liked him, and that's why I was talking to him. And it went so far over his head that he wasn't recognizing someone in my line of work in this industry would never be talking to someone who does not spend any money in the establishment, would never be talking to somebody outside of the establishment. So he got a big head about it right away. Coming in there just feeling really entitled, and thought that just because he was an attorney, he thought that he was just entitled to, talk to me or have sex with me outside of the place, or even put on a fake relationship, any of those. He just felt extremely entitled right off the rip. And, even further down the line, tried to get me to miss work without ever offering to replace the money that I would have made at work, which that is customary for somebody in my line of work. You would always have to pay the girl what they would normally make to miss work. And at no time did he ever try to do that. He just, again, felt so entitled. Now, also the sexual manipulation. So that also kind of goes hand in hand with some of what I just said of coming into an adult entertainment establishment, just feeling extremely entitled just because of his position in life or what he went to school for, and did not even fit the criteria for anybody in my line of work to leave the establishment with him or talk to him any further. And then I'm going to mention that at one of the Halloween parties that he had a Halloween party. I think they have one every year. He had a lot of parties that him and his friends would have, and they would take turns on whoever was throwing the party. But specifically, the Halloween party that we were at, we were there for a couple hours, and at some point, my daughter showed up with her guy friend, and this was like, I don't know how long we had been there, but they only stayed about 20 to 30 minutes. And during this time frame, the three of us were standing. He was sitting down. Many people were sitting down, but I was particularly standing, and so was my daughter and her friend. So during this time, he was also grabbing my daughter's ass and grabbing the ass of her friend, her guy friend. And he kept doing it. It wasn't like an accident or a one-time thing. He kept repeatedly doing it, and basically for his own gratification. And I did see it, I did notice it, but because I was so far undercover in what I was doing at this time period and gathering this information, and it had been months, and I was so close to having almost all the information that I needed to kind of get everything to the next step. I didn't want to blow what I had going on. My daughter was completely unaware that this is what I was doing. Everybody was. I didn't tell, not even the closest people to me, that this is what I was doing at this time. So I didn't want to give it away. And my daughter and her friend were trying to get me in the other room to tell me what he was doing, but they didn't realize that I already saw it. And so I kind of just acted like I didn't see it. And they just thought I was being dumb or something, but I saw it the whole time. And then they told me the next day, and I said that I already knew, but I still didn't say what I was doing and what was actually going on for a few months. And so that's why they only stayed 20, 30 minutes, and then they left. And, if this had been a real relationship, or if this was like a real life situation, and that was me in my real life, I would have never let it go on 1 minute further. I would have straight up left him bloody and left immediately, and that would have been it. All ties would have been cut immediately. But at this point, my daughter was 18. She had just turned 18, and I believe her friend was also 18. So, I mean, technically it's legal. But if you were dating somebody, or if you're in a relationship with somebody, you definitely wouldn't be grabbing their child's ass or the ass of their friend. So, you know, at the root of all this, though, how was he brought in? He was brought in by my mother and her group of people that have been helping her participate in these crimes against me long term. So technically, my mother's involved in his behavior and his actions as well. So, that would also be my mother to blame. So that's my daughter's grandmother. So that's who would be to blame for this situation. But because of the predicament I was in, and how long these crimes have been going on for, and how long I've been gathering the information, I had to let it slide in that moment to continue gathering the information. But in reality, that would have never gone on 1 second further than that. And this is just a warning to other women in the Downriver, Michigan area. If you've come across this guy, he's manipulative in all of these ways. Whatever satisfies whatever he's trying to do is what his agenda is. So if he's trying to be financially manipulative, or if he's trying to be sexually manipulative, or if he's trying to be emotionally manipulative, doesn't matter. He's going to work his way, whatever's going to benefit him and whatever he's trying to do. I don't believe he was acting that way just because of what he was, the agenda he was carrying out against me. I believe that's his actual behavior. So this is just a warning to other women regarding all of this. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so then also, if you've watched my other video, where I mention that he was also not only just sliding in pictures of me, where I previously had stated numerous times that I don't take pictures with any guys, especially because of my line of work. I charge $100 per picture. It's always been that way since about 2012 or 13. I've been running things that way in my business. And he still kept sliding in pictures, being manipulative about the manner in which he was sliding in for these pictures. And not just the pictures, but he also snuck in s3x videos. So at the time that these videos were filmed, I did not know he was filming them until after the fact. So he already had them filmed when I realized he did that, or when he stated something about doing it. Some of the times I wasn't aware that he did it. I thought I heard something, but it wasn't until I fully seen when he showed me that he filmed one that I was for sure that that's what I had heard. Now, so he's using these videos for numerous reasons. He's using them to prove to the criminal group that he's completing the job that he was paid to do. He's also using them for his own sexual gratification. So, that's also something that I don't do and I would have never been okay with. Because I have so many matters running in my life and I keep my private life extremely private, which is why I've also never used social media prior to me releasing all these videos last year. That's definitely something I would have never engaged in. Because like on the streets and in my work and in person, I'm a low-key celebrity. I have a lot of people who know who I am in many different cities and states. So I would have never allowed that to happen. But because of the manner in which I was gathering all this evidence and this information, I didn't really have a choice but to kind of let it slide and let him have the videos and not freak out and grab the phone from him and delete the pictures and the videos, because it was actually proof of the crimes he was involved in. Any other situation, the phone would have immediately been most likely broken by me, and I would have also stormed out the door. That would have been it. But because of what was actually going on, I had to allow him to do it, or it would have given what I was doing away. And then I also wouldn't have had the evidence either. So now I do have evidence of all of this. He even put one of them on my own phone, took my phone and was recording at one point. So I actually have one of these videos, but he was using these videos for his own gratification as well. So that's just something to be aware of. If you're planning on going out with this guy, this is what he's probably going to do. I would just say steer clear of him altogether. He goes by the name Tony. His name is actually Michael Anthony Carmen, and he's from the Downriver, Michigan area. So yes, this is a warning to many women. Everything I said in this video, these are all facts. Steer clear of the guy, stay away from him. One of my agendas here with this is to also make sure he never gets another piece of ass prior to getting arrested, when he eventually gets arrested for his participation in these crimes against me. But the amount of trouble he's caused me, and how he felt that it was okay to cause problems at the places that I make my money at, and thought it was funny to try to make sure the establishments told me I wouldn't be able to work there anymore because of his behavior, and thought it was funny to wipe out my finances after everything I'd already been through. That's just extremely unacceptable. It's downright sinister, actually. So ladies, steer clear of this guy. I am going to post a picture on the thumbnail on the YouTube post of this video. TikTok doesn't really allow me to do that, but I'll put it on the YouTube one. And on this particular thumbnail, he is taking a picture with a guy friend. So I will leave you with that, and do what you will with this information. I'll be back with more. Thanks. Bye.